Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. If you can't tell, me and the big dog are here in person out in the slums of Johnson County, North Carolina. But happy episode 52. Today is April 22nd, 2024. We're 2 days. Cam and I have been together now for 368 days because it was leap year last year. But episode 52. Co-host Ward Sewell, joined by the big man Cam Taylor. Cam, how we doing, brother?
Dude, I'm living the dream, man. Out here in Johnson County, God's country, USA, man. This is not AI, by the way. We're actually in person.
The boys are in person in my kitchen right now.
Yeah.
We tried to do on the couch, but we couldn't get the lighting to be right. So
we've become all about production for you guys.
Yeah.
But super excited to be here, Ward. Happy 1 year anniversary officially. 368 days together. Started this journey on 420 last year. But yeah, we got a super in-depth first round mock draft for you guys for the NFL draft coming up on Thursday. We got some sleepers, and then obviously start out every show with first favorite forgotten weekly game balls. So that's what you guys have to look forward to. Before we get into it, I want to remind you guys, find us on Spotify, YouTube. Oh goodness, I'm messing it up. Let's go Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts.
There you go.
Type in the Fat Katz Podcast. Instagram and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. Get your merch and all the links in the bios. And Ward, let's have a daggone podcast.
Have a podcast. And if anybody that doesn't know, the big man and I are actually going. We're going to be like 6 rows up, game 2 of the Hurricanes tonight. So Cam will be dropping the picture. I went to game 1, somehow got on the Canes Instagram. So the Fat Katz with the logo will be on the Canes Instagram tonight. So tune in for that. It'll be pretty cool.
Heck yeah, man. Super excited to get into it. But as we always do, starting off with first favorite and forgotten. If you're new, the episode number goes with the jersey number. So today being episode 52, it's the first player that comes to mind that wore 52, your favorite player to wear 52, and somebody who is forgotten that wore 52. Ward, kick us off, big dog.
I was just thinking before I get in, it's been a long time since we've done an in-person podcast, hasn't it?
Yeah, since Charlotte.
It's in Charlotte, yeah.
At the Spectrum.
I don't know. I don't remember what it was at the Spectrum Center Hotel. I don't remember what episode it was. But ladies and gentlemen, we're so glad to be back. Cam is making me look like short on here. Cam's not that much
I'm
taller.
not even sitting up straight.
Cam's not that much taller than me, I promise. I promise you I'm not this short. You'll see on the Canes Instagram tonight how tall Cam is versus how tall I am. But anyway, first favorite forgotten, Cam, starting out, first 52 that came to mind, probably most people's first 52 to come to mind. Madden 13 cover, I want to say. Intro says, they all say I'm too small. I'm not big enough. I'm not fast enough. Ray Lewis, number 52.
There you go. First guy that came to my mind was Ray Lewis, but didn't want to repeat. So we'll go with the second best linebacker of this generation. We'll go Patrick Willis. Played for San Francisco for years. Would have been probably our generation's best linebacker had Ray Lewis not been conceived, or maybe some legal issues would have went a different way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Patrick Willis was the first guy that came to mind for me for 52, Ward.
And Patrick Lewis was actually on the cover of Madden 02.
Yep.
Funny story, but I thought it was an intro to one of the Maddens. You know the intro
I know
I'm
what
talking
you're talking
about?
about, yeah.
I can't remember what Madden it was. Pretty cool. But favorite number 52 for any of my NC State Wolfpack fans out there, y'all are going to know this name. Chris Corchiani, NC State legend, played in the mid to late 80s. He, I don't know his accolades off the top of my head, but he does have his number hanging in the rafters of PNC Arena, where Cam and I will be tonight. So 52 favorite, Chris Corchiani.
Yep. I'm not familiar with Chris Corchiani's game. I'm not going to lie to you. But great pull. What a name. My favorite 52 is going to be Mike Webster, Hall of Fame center, played for the Steelers in the 70s with Terry Bradshaw and Still Curtin and all those guys. So Mike Webster, one of the greatest centers to play the game, is going to be my favorite Pittsburgh Steelers legend.
That was another good one. And this is the first time I've ever used AI to come up with numbers before. Chat GPT. Mike Webster was up there, and I saw Steelers. I was like, Cam, you know this guy? And Cam's like, I already have him down. I said, I figured. But forgotten number 52. This guy's not really forgotten. He's a legend in our game. Khalil Mack. He's played on a multitude of different teams, but Cam and I have watched him growing up. So Khalil Mack, he's not forgotten. He's just, I didn't have him forgotten. So Khalil Mack, you're my pretend to be forgotten 52 this week.
There you go. I feel like this guy's actually fits the forgotten case here. Clay Matthews.
Yes.
Won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers for 2 or 3, maybe 4 years, was one of the best edge rushers in the league. Kind of fell off the face of the earth after his prime kind of fell out, but Clay Matthews was an incredible football player for a lot of years, and feel like nobody even talks about. I don't even feel like people really remember him, Ward.
No, that out of all of our, I'm sorry, I was looking up something for my next segment on here, but out of all of our forgottens this year, and since we've been doing this, Clay Matthews may be the best one. Former legend for the Green Bay Packers, long hair. He's a former edge, outside linebacker, known for his sacks, known for everything. Clay Matthews was a dog back in the day, so.
And they have a couple guys on that team, and we'll get there here in about 30-some episodes. But Jordy Nelson even fits that. Guys from that team that just don't really get remembered as well as they should. But, yeah, that was first favorite and forgotten. You guys let us know
who we missed.
Yeah, who we missed, who you guys thought. There is no right answers when it comes to first favorite and forgotten.
Justin, who on Clemson did we miss? What 52 on Clemson did we forget, my friend?
Shout out to
some bum that couldn't get into NC State.
Oh God. Anyways, weekly game balls going out. We got 2 apiece. Ward, go ahead and kick us off, brother.
I'll start us off. This is what I was looking at. NC State baseball. The boys we started out a little slow this year, but we're heating up at the right time. We beat Clemson last weekend, number 2 in the country. This weekend, we played number 14 in the country, North Carolina. Beat them 2 out of 3. We had a walk-off home run on Thursday night, and then a walk-off wild pitch to score on Friday night to win the game. I know we took the series, so Wolfpack are looking good. And Wolfpack baseball, I think that now Wolfpack football, basketball, and baseball have game balls from us. But
as they should.
Yep.
This has been a great year for NC State athletics.
NC State's looking pretty good right now.
My first game ball, I'm not going to say his full name on here, but it's KZ. He knows who I'm talking about. Me and him have been grinding when it comes to NFL mock drafts since the football season ended. And here in a couple days, it's all going to come to fruition. So me and KZ have been putting in some grinding hours, some real work on these prospects. So shout out to KZ, man. The day has finally come.
And I will say, Cam and I were doing our mock drafts together right before this, and we get, mock drafts are fun until you get to about pick 16, 17 through 32, 33. And that's when picks started getting a little questionable for me. I leaned on my right hand, well, technically left hand man. He's to my left, Cam, and Cam helped my brother out. So,
yeah, man, this is the best time of the year. I love watching ball and watching these college
watching
guys.
and talking ball, brother.
Heck yeah, man. But did you already go to the Canes for your?
Oh no, I did not. Second game ball this week is actually going to be the Hurricanes. As I was telling you, I got on the Instagram account for the Canes, which is awesome. But funny story, anybody that knows me knows how I am. I bought tickets up at the very top with a few of my boys from home. You know me, I was scouting and figuring out what seats were available down low. We found 5 seats down low, 4 rows above the ice. Went down there, sat our butts down, didn't move, and secured. Went from $60 tickets to like $500 tickets. So, hey, fake it till you make it, brother. Smile and wave. Just act like you're supposed to be there.
There you go. Sound advice from Ward. You do that better than anybody.
Yeah,
I've never seen someone just walk in like you own the place, sit down. Nobody says anything ever, almost.
If anybody knows my father, that's who I get it from. My father's very good at that.
My second game ball is going to go to my boss again. Not going to drop any names, but got us these tickets for the game tonight. So shout out to my boss, man, the best in the business.
Is your boss a listener to the pod?
Every once in a while, yeah.
Okay, nice.
We might get a shout out or whatever, but shout out to my boss, man.
Nice.
They make this world go round. But as we get into it, Ward, we have a first round complete mock draft for you guys by request. Shout out Colby G. We're giving you guys an extra pick. We're doing 33, first pick of the second round for all you Panthers fans out there. Super excited about this. I think this is one of my favorite drafts I've ever scouted in terms of the prospects. If you like offensive linemen, this is the draft to watch because tackles, centers, they're plentiful in this draft, and wideouts, and obviously the quarterbacks at the top. But Ward, just so everybody knows what we're going to do, we're going to go one pick at a time. So I'll go 1, you go 2. I have all the odd numbers except for 20. I'm doing 20 for the Steelers, and then Ward is taking 19 for me for the Rams. But obviously, our guy walks up, the music's playing. first pick shouldn't take but a second and a half to get in. Obviously, they're going to, make it out 20 minutes before the pick actually gets said.
No, the draft starts at 8. The first pick will be chosen at 8:28.
Yeah.
They take their time.
But I don't think there's any question the Chicago Bears are going to be taking Caleb Williams with the first overall pick. By the way, no trades in our mock. We're not doing the trade talk. We're doing this 1 through 32 as it is right now. Caleb Williams will be a Chicago Bear.
I think this is pretty as Joe Burrow was a lock to the Cincinnati Bengals, as Trevor Lawrence was an absolute lock to the Jaguars. I think Caleb Williams is pretty much a lock, or he is a lock to the Chicago Bears. So cue the music. Do 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 do. With the second pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders are selecting Jaden Daniels, LSU. And then the crowd's going to go crazy, and then all the highlights are going to pop up. But, you heard it here first. Out of whatever speculation you're hearing, whatever Ian Rappaport's saying, Jaden Daniels, my friend, welcome to D.C., and it's time for you to make us great again.
So this is a big moment for you, because we have you on record saying that if Drake May is your quarterback,
I will not be a Redskins fan.
You will pick a new team. I'm not cheering for it, but that would be some great content. This Jaden Daniels situation, though, it's getting kind of weird. His agent is publicly beefing with GMs. It's come out that he wants to play for Vegas. I don't see a world where he falls to 13. So unless Vegas is going to make some trades to get up there, but he's made it very clear that he wants to go to Vegas. But you ain't Eli Manning, dog.
No.
Get ready to learn DC, bro, because you're going to Washington.
And I will say too, as a Washington fan, I'll go ahead and put my hand up and say, if anybody wants to give us a first rounder this year and 2 first rounders in the next coming years, you can have Jaden Daniels. Las Vegas Raiders, Minnesota Vikings. If you guys want Jaden Daniels, he's there. Come get him. You just got to give us your first rounder this year and then your first rounder in 2025 and 2026. But he is all yours, brother. You can have him. We'll take JJ McCarthy.
There you go. We need to get GM jobs the way we negotiate.
Yeah.
But, so Jaden Daniels is going to be a Washington Commander.
Yep.
The New England Patriots are on the board. They need just about everything.
Yep.
But at the third pick, you cannot deny the talent of Drake May unless you're this guy. All the talent in the world, it's just, is he going to put it together? A little bit more of a project than you'd like at 3, but new regime in New England, I think Drake May is a perfect way to start off the Gerard Mayo legacy, hire, his career at New England. So Drake May, and he looks like a Patriot. Yeah. Let's be honest.
He does look like a Patriot. He fits the bill. Yeah, he fits the bill. He fits the stereotype. But moving forward to number 4, the Arizona Cardinals, Cam. I think they're taking the next great fantasy wide receiver, the next great NFL wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously following in the footsteps of his dad, who is a former NFL Hall of Famer, played for the Indianapolis Colts. Marvin Harrison Jr., number 4, Arizona Cardinals.
Yep, Maserati Marv out of Ohio State. Very possible, Ward, that the Arizona Cardinals here at 4 are getting the best player in this draft.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of buzz that people think maybe Malik Neighbors is better than Marvin Harrison Jr. I've seen Marvin Harrison Jr. tear up college football for 3 years. I think he's the best player in this draft, and Kyler Murray's getting a fun target to throw the ball up to.
Yep.
It's up to me now. Yeah, I apologize. Number 5, the Los Angeles Chargers are on the board. There's a lot of different ways they can go. They have a lot of needs, Ward. I've even heard that they may trade out of this pick, which we'll see. It came down for me between Joe Alt and Malik Neighbors. We know how John Harbaugh likes to play football. He's like to smash mouth, run the ball. And Joe Alt fits that perfectly. But you cannot deny the need for Justin Herbert to have some weapons.
Yeah.
They've already got a left tackle that they took in the first round a couple of years ago. So with that being said, I'm going to go Malik Neighbors, wide receiver out of LSU, for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, and there was, like you said, Cam, there is a lot of people arguing that he's better than Marvin Harrison. I don't see it, but Malik Neighbors, and I'm very happy he's going to the Chargers too. Did not want him to fall to the Giants, because don't want to play this guy twice a year. But a guy that I'm okay with playing twice a year, kind of jumping right into it. Number 6 pick in the draft, I think the New York Giants select Rome Odunze. Cam, you're going to lot of messed up names will be had by your boy Ward here. But Romeo Dunze, I think he goes number 6 of the Giants. And yeah, Manuel Forbes ready to guard this guy.
Yep. Romo Dunze.
Okay.
You were close, very close. Breakout star at UW with Michael Penix throwing him the football. He's a big physical guy. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. Makes contested catches. A lot of Keenan Allen in his game, but he's more of a vertical threat than Keenan Allen even was. I love this guy. I think he's a great football player. And I think we said this last year, but Danny Dimes, like you're on the clock, man. Like if there's not a quarterback here, if Drake May falls or they can trade up, they're going to go get Drake May. Like no question.
Do you think if Drake May falls to 8, they'd take him?
To 6
or the 6? I mean,
for sure. I think even if he gets to 4 or 5, they might.
You think?
Trade? But I think Romo Dunze is a great football player, and I wouldn't be so happy playing him twice a year.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would rather play him twice a year than the other 2 going in front of him.
Totally get that. Totally get that. But yeah, Romo Dunze to the Giants. I love that for the Giants. And Danny Dimes, man, it's time to prove what you're worth.
Yeah.
Or again, go get Drake May if you can.
Yep.
At 7, the Tennessee Titans, to me, are taking the second best player in this draft, Joe Alt. Yep. I could see that. I would be more surprised, Ward, if this guy is not a perennial All-Pro than if he is. Yep. This guy has all the tools to be the next great tackle in the NFL. He's got the pedigree, 6'8" frame. He's a great pass blocker, nasty run blocker, and Tennessee Titans are getting a damn good tackle. One of the best tackles I've ever scouted in my life to protect the franchise, Will Levis.
This almost reminds me of when Washington drafted Brandon Sheriff a few years ago. This is like same pedigree, what they're bringing in. Obviously, if you're drafting an offensive lineman this early, you're bringing in a huge piece to the puzzle within your organization. But moving forward, Cam, and while you were talking too, I was thinking about, every year there's a player that's supposed to go very high that drops down the board. I'm curious who in this draft, if there is one that's projected top 5 that's going to drop, down the board. But anyway, last year, Christian Gonzalez, first name that comes to mind. He was projected to go like 8 and he went 17.
I don't think there's a better example of that outside of Johnny Manziel and Geno Smith, which obviously had their problems.
Malik Willis was a great one.
Yeah. I mean, Laramie Tunsil was supposed to be a top 5 pick. Remember the gas mask video comes out a day before the draft and he falls all the way down to Miami.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of movers in this draft. There's a lot of guys that at mid-year, at the end of the year, were 2nd or 3rd round picks that are now 1st round picks.
Yeah.
A guy like we'll talk about later, Olu Fashanu, before the season was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick.
How do you pronounce his name?
Olu Fashanu.
There you go.
Penn State.
That a boy, Cam. That a boy.
As we move on, Atlanta, number 8.
Number 8, obviously Atlanta has had some crazy picks the past couple of years. I think they've gone offense since 2019, 2020. They've picked up 1st-round offensive guys. They're switching it up, Cam. Finally, they're going with a defensive guy, University of Alabama, Dallas Turner, edge rusher. Welcome to the Falcons.
There you go. Dallas Turner is an awesome edge rusher. A little bit shorter than you'd like, but the talent and the stats, like the numbers, the production is there for the Alabama grad of Dallas Turner. Chicago coming in at number 9. This is their own pick, as number 1 was the Panthers pick.
Yep.
You talk about teams getting BPA, best player available. I don't think there's a better, circumstance than this. Brock Bowers has fell all the way to number 9. One of the greatest tight end prospects of all time. And at this point, if you're Chicago, you're getting your guy, Caleb Williams, as many weapons as possible. Brock Bowers out of Georgia, the tight end, is, again, one of the best players on the board. So I don't think that Chicago can pass on him here.
Yeah, and you think about that Chicago offense, too. You got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. You got Keenan Allen as your wide receiver 1. Or arguably, I don't know if they put Keenan Allen or what's his name?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. I don't know which one of this is going to be wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. But anyway, they're going to have Brock Bowers, who's going to be your tight end. Caleb Williams, you ain't got much excuse if you don't go and find immediate success. But Cam, moving forward, New York Jets, pick number 10, Olu Fashanu. You just told me how to pronounce that name. I heard you do it multiple times. So, Olu, you are going off number 10, my friend.
Yep. All the physical tools are there, man. The only thing is hips aren't great. He's not as flexible as you want as a left tackle. But he has all the tools to be a cornerstone left tackle. It's just between the ears for me. Does he want it bad enough? Again, a guy that before the season was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick, falls to 10, And the Jets, man, they always need tackles.
Yep.
But I think our guy Weezy would be very happy with this pickup. I think, again, if he gets it right between the ears, Olu Fashanu could be an awesome left tackle for the New York Jets. Minnesota coming in at 11. A lot of people are speculating that they'll have to trade up for this guy. Talent-wise, I don't think that this is a guy that you should necessarily trade up for. I know that quarterback is a need for this football team. I think Sam Darnold is their QB1 right now.
Yeah. Sam.
But J.J. McCarthy, I think one way or another is going to end up being a Viking on draft day, whether it's via trade up or he falls to 11. I do think J.J. McCarthy will be the next quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
Interesting, Cam. I like it. I think there's a lot of teams, like we mentioned, Minnesota, big possibility to trade up. You look at the Las Vegas Raiders, a very possibility to trade up. But next pick, I believe it was number 12. Yep. Cam, this is one of Ward's big dogs that we or was it? What did I know? It was Cam.
Ward's winners.
Ward's winners. That's what it is. Ward's winners. Pick 12. This guy started out as a third rounder, and then he just continued to move his way up, and now he is going in the top half of the draft. Number 12, Denver Broncos, Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo. Obviously, this guy is the number 1 corner in this draft. You look at his highlights, you'll see why.
Yep.
Cam, what you think, bro?
Hey, I like Quinyon Mitchell. He's got, a lot of versatility. He's a big cornerback. I think he led the nation in interceptions last year for Toledo. But as we move on, pick number 13, as Ward flexes on pick number 13, the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock. Quarterback is a huge need. Right tackle is a huge need. Again, you talk about 2 prospects. You kind of go back and forth. Talise Fuaga from Oregon State is here. He's a great right tackle, great pass blocker. He's 6'6", 335. Everything you want in a right tackle. But we cannot, kind of skip past this glaring hole at quarterback. Will this guy be there in the second round? I don't know, but I don't think that the Vegas Raiders take a chance. I think Michael Penix Jr. will be the next quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Michael Penix Jr., welcome to Vegas, my friend. Keep your pockets clean and keep your nose clean. But anyway, Cam, moving forward, number 14 pick in the draft, New Orleans Saints. For some reason, I have all the guys with very hard names to pronounce. Offensive tackle, Oregon State, Talise Fuaga. Did I say that one right?
No.
My girlfriend think that's very funny in the background, by the way.
I hope you guys can hear it. That was hilarious.
Talise Fuaga.
It's Talise Fuaga.
There we go. Head over Tato, Cam. There we go.
Out of Oregon State. I think New Orleans is going to get an awesome right tackle here. No left tackle ability. He's never played left tackle before. So you're getting a legit right tackle to shore up that offensive line for New Orleans. And again, where it's just kind of best player available. But 15, Indianapolis is on the board. Indianapolis kind of, receiver is a need. Defensive back is a need. And I was telling Ward, there's only 3 franchises I could see in the NFL getting away with trotting out a white cornerback, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's the Green Bay Packers, and those are the Indianapolis Colts. So I think right here, the Indianapolis Colts get the cornerback or safety, whatever you want to call him, and return man Cooper DeJean out of Iowa.
Cooper DeJean, the next GOAT. But anyway, Cam, moving forward, I got another hard name to pronounce. Seattle takes defensive edge from UCLA. Sorry, I lost it. Liatu Latu. Cam, how the hell do you say this guy's name?
You would think that we did this on purpose.
No.
We didn't.
Cam did this to me.
It's Liatu Latu.
Oh, I was a lot closer there than I thought.
Edge out of UCLA.
I'm guessing he's a Samoan.
I don't know. We're not.
He might be part of the bloodline with The Rock and Roman Reigns.
Acknowledge him.
Yeah.
Acknowledge your tribal chief.
Yeah.
Liatu Latu, edge out of UCLA is probably the most talented edge rusher in this class. The only reason I have him going under Dallas Turner. No Diddy.
That right there is a Samoan if I've ever seen one.
There you go. Ward is on record as calling Liatu Latu Samoan. But probably the most talented edge rusher. He does have some injury concerns that came up in the physicals, which is the only reason he dropped this far. But a West Coast guy staying in Seattle, it makes sense geographically. But I'm super excited for this for Seattle. I think that they're getting one of the most dynamic edge rushers in this class. For Jacksonville, I have them taking J.C. Latham, tackle out of Alabama. Not my favorite tackle in this draft. I don't think he's a great pass blocker. He's super nasty in the run game, which you always want. He does have guard versatility. You can kick him inside. But I don't know. There's something about Alabama tackles that gives me a little.
He reminds me of I just was thinking of his name. Weatherwood. Alex Weatherwood too reminds me of. But Cam, moving in, pick number 18, Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're taking a next great from Texas. This guy has a very good chance to make a high end. He's gonna make an impact on somebody. Byron Murphy, University of Texas.
There you go. I love Byron Murphy. I do like Johnny Newton better as an interior defensive lineman, but Byron Murphy, when you talk about the run game, is a great football player, taking on double teams, making plays on the inside. So I think this would be a great pickup for Cincinnati. Don't want to play this guy twice a year, but we're going to have to.
Yep. Oh, is it my? Oh yeah, it is my turn again. So sorry, Cam. There we go. Next pick, Los Angeles Rams. Offensive tackle, University of Washington, staying close, staying West Coast. Troy Fautanu.
There you go. That was perfect. Troy Fautanu.
Let's go, baby.
Tackle out of Washington. He's got right tackle, left tackle. He can play 5 positions, Ward. He legit can play 5 positions. Yep. Probably going to be a left tackle starting out for the Rams. Now, if he falls a pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers, probably kick him to right tackle. I like Troy Fautanu a ton just because of his positional versatility. He's a dog in the run game. He's probably the most athletic lineman in this draft by a long shot. Another Samoan, if we're keeping track. I think this is number 3 on the day. Yep. But Troy Fautanu is going to be a great tackle for the Los Angeles Rams, or hopefully the Pittsburgh Steelers if he makes it to 20. Whoever gets this guy is going to get an absolute insane athlete.
As a stud.
Absolute stud. So I got 2 in a row here. The Pittsburgh Steelers at number 20 are going to be taking Amarius Mims, offensive tackle out of the University of Georgia.
Cam got choked up there for a second.
Well, I got a phone in my face. I was trying to read, and I got a phone right here. But yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers again taking Amarius Mims, tackle out of Georgia. Only started 14 games in his career at Georgia. He had an injury last year, but 6'7", 6'8", 340 pounds. He looks like a Greek god. He can move. The only thing is the injury concerns. He's probably one of the more talented and most physically gifted when it comes to tools tackles in this draft. True right tackle, so you're able to kick Broderick Jones back to left tackle, who you also took out of UGA last year.
Yep.
We might just become UGA Northeast here, but yeah, I love
and not worse schools you can choose from, my friend.
A 2-time
worst
champ.
schools you can choose.
2-time champ. I think
they've lost 1 game in the last 2 years.
Exactly. So. I think Amarius Mims would be a great pickup here for the Pittsburgh Steelers at right tackle.
Yep.
And then 21, Miami, Jared Verse. We have him going the edge out of Florida State. Kind of a drop off from the first 2 edges to Jared Verse. Super physical guy, but I think staying in the state of Florida will help him a lot. And then I think the Miami Dolphins are going to get a very solid edge here at the latter end of the first round.
Yep, Jared Verse. I watched this guy play a lot in college. Watched him play my Wolfpack a few times. He's a stud, man. I'll be the first one to admit this guy's pretty good. But anyway, Cam, moving forward, Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all know this is a team I don't care too much for, but I do have the Eagles taking Terrion Arnold, defensive back from Alabama. When you look at the history of defensive backs from Alabama, usually they're pretty good. Hopefully this guy resets the market of Alabama DBs and he sucks, and Terry McLaurin can do his thing on him.
There you go. Terrion Arnold, super physical defensive back, thrives in man coverage, press man.
Yeah.
I think he'll fit right in at Philly with that dog mentality he's got. But again, I don't think we wish any good for Philly.
No.
Whoever goes at 22 here, it's not personal. I just don't think anybody, especially that listens to the show, likes Philadelphia.
No.
So
outside of Quentin Repnick.
So it's Quentin.
Yeah.
At 23, Ward, we have the best, in my opinion, the best interior defensive lineman going off the board. Minnesota has so many needs that at this point you just have to go best player available.
BPA.
Johnny Newton, interior defensive lineman out of Illinois. He's a little bit light in his frame. I don't think he's going to ever be a 310-pound guy, but he's so quick off the football. He's got so much bend coming off the edge and even coming from a 3 technique. I think Johnny Newton, his versatility and his ability to bend will make him one of the premier interior pass rushers for the Minnesota Vikings.
I like it, Cam. So next, moving forward, another team I don't like very much, the Dallas Cowboys. This team has not done much in free agency. They've done nothing in free agency. So, the Cowboys are here, and they got to get here, and they haven't done it through the free agency, so I guess they're planning on doing it through the draft. But anyway, Cam, moving forward, Dallas Cowboys select offensive center from Duke, Graham Barton.
There you go. Probably the most athletic offensive lineman in this draft.
Yeah.
It's him and Troy Fautanu, 1A, 1B. To your point, though, on the Cowboys not spending money, it's come out that a different sport, Arkansas basketball, just hired John Calipari. And Jerry Jones went to Arkansas. I don't know if you knew that, Ward. But
yeah, I knew that.
He has pledged to John Calipari that he will pay double in NIL for any player that was formerly recruited by Kentucky.
Interesting.
So Jerry Jones.
How does that make you feel?
I don't care. Jerry Jones. It hasn't worked in years for the Cowboys, so why should I be scared? Jerry Jones won't spend money for the Dallas Cowboys, but he will spend money for the Arkansas Razorbacks. So just something to keep in mind. Graham Barton, though, elite athlete, 6'5", played left tackle for Duke last year. His freshman year, he played center at Duke, but he's played left tackle, he's played right tackle, he's played center. So another guy, at least 3 positions, probably 5 position versatility. Steelers have a lot of people have the Steelers taking him at 20. I'd be totally fine with this. The only concern I have is he's projected to play center in the NFL, and he hasn't snapped a football in 3 years.
Didn't know that. Very interesting. Did not know that at all.
My pick again.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I thought it was mine. Or I thought it was yours, but
yeah, this is new. We're gonna have to get used to this.
Yeah,
and we only have 7 picks left to do it. But Green Bay Packers coming at 25. Tyler Guyton, I have them taking the offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. Another elite athlete. He needs a lot of polishing. He's super raw as a prospect. If you look at him, he almost looks like a tight end, but he's a huge guy. I think he's like 6'7", 320 pounds, but he legit looks like a tight end. But he's got great feet, really good hands. He's violent. He just needs to kind of put all the tools together, and I think Green Bay is a great place for that to happen.
Yeah. And so moving forward, Cam, I just realized that we have 2 offense or defensive backs from Alabama getting drafted in the first round. So that speaks to Nick Saban and the talent that he brings in to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Man does a good job. But anyway, moving forward, Cam, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, most interesting name in the draft, Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid McKinstry is going off the board and going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep. Kool-Aid McKinstry, again, great name. Had an NIL deal with Kool-Aid.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, so really good football player. I think people were a lot higher on him at the beginning of the year. I think we saw a lot of his flaws this year, especially playing across from Terry and Arnold. I know Novak kind of agrees with this. I think if his name wasn't Kool-Aid, he'd probably be a 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
But Kool-Aid McKinstry to Tampa. I think he's a solid cornerback. I don't think you're going to get any star potential out of him, though.
Yeah.
And keeping it with defensive backs, the Arizona Cardinals, I have here taking Nate Wiggins, the defensive back out of Clemson. Shout out Justin Alford again.
Yeah.
Arizona, again, in a BPA situation, I think that Nate Wiggins is the best player left on the board. You can see him going as high as 16 in some drafts. So I think getting Nate Wiggins here to shore up the secondary for Arizona would be a good move.
Yep. So moving on to the Buffalo Bills. As you know, the Bills have released Gabe Davis is gone. Stephon Diggs is gone. This team has a lot of holes that these are players that filled up big parts of their offense, Cam. I think they do make a big move at offense. I do think they take Brian Thomas from LSU, another wide receiver to come in. And Brian has some big shoes to fill. So we'll see what he does. But Brian Thomas, LSU, Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU is a great receiver prospect. If you haven't seen Steve Smith do his wide receiver breakdowns, I'd highly recommend it. He does one on Brian Thomas Jr., which I really enjoyed. He has all the tools necessary. He has every single tool that Malik Neighbors has. I think the only difference is Malik Neighbors, and I hate to use this as a scouting report, but he has a little bit more dog in him.
He has that dog in him.
I think Malik Neighbors is more so an alpha than Brian Thomas Jr. Can he develop that to become the guy in Buffalo? I think we'll find out.
And the thing is, and you look at the history of LSU wide receivers too. I mean, 2 out of the top 3 wide receivers in the NFL went to LSU.
Yeah.
One wore number 1 at LSU, the other one wears number 2, or wore number 2 at LSU. So Yeah, man. You look at it, history of guys. LSU produces. They have a good track record of producing receivers. So one of these guys will probably be pretty damn good.
Yeah, or probably
Or
both
probably
of them.
both of them.
But as we move on, Detroit, they don't have a ton of needs, man. I think this is a very good football team,
Yeah.
but I do think that they go and get Chop Robinson, the edge out of Penn
Yeah.
State. He's got all the tools there. He's a freak physically. He's got, one or two pass rush moves that he can be dominant with.
Yeah.
I think getting another edge on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson, yeah.
Would be huge for them to shore up that defense and just get another dynamic pass rusher across from him.
Yeah. And Cam, this is a very quarterback draft, wide receiver draft, offensive line draft. I mean, this is an offensive draft, is the way you look at it. So we have another wide receiver going off the board here with the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens taking A.D. Mitchell from Texas. Not too familiar with this guy's game. I watched him play. I didn't watch too much Big 12 football last year. Watched this guy play a little bit in the college football playoff. Obviously, this dude's pretty good. So Texas putting some guys in the first round. It's pretty cool to see.
Yep. A.D. Mitchell or Adonai Mitchell, if you want to call him by his full name. Started out at Georgia, transferred to Texas last year. One of the best receivers in college football. Yep. He's a true X, 6'3", can make every contested catch in the book. Apparently, there's some character concerns. I haven't heard anything out of Texas that would suggest that, but some national guys are saying it, so we'll ride with that.
Interesting.
But all the talent in the world. He's not a great route runner yet. Definitely needs to polish that up. But when it comes to catching contested balls, there's not much better. Maybe Romo Dunze is the only guy that's better at making contested catches than A.D. Mitchell in this draft. San Francisco, is there a need on this roster whatsoever? Yeah. So I have them taking Jordan Morgan. He's a tackle out of Arizona. He's going to be a late first rounder, early second rounder. But super raw, but he's a great athlete. And I think if anybody has the opportunity to take a project tackle at the end of the first round, it's the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep. Well, all right. Kansas City Chiefs, last pick of the first round, round 1, pick 32. This Kansas City Chiefs team, or this guy, whoever joins this team will probably have a ring at some point if they stick it out through their rookie deal. But Ladd McConkey, Cam, did I pronounce that right?
Yep, you did.
Ladd McConkey, wide receiver, University of Georgia. Welcome to Chiefs Kingdom.
There you go. We kind of debated two guys here. It was Ladd McConkey out of Georgia and then Xavier Legette out of South Carolina.
Yep.
I think Ladd is probably a better fit just because he has more versatility when you talk about inside, outside motions. Xavier Legette only had one great year at South Carolina. I think either guy would be able to fit perfectly in here, but I think with the versatility that Ladd McConkey brings, we probably go Ladd here to end the first round. And as promised, first pick, day 2, the Carolina Panthers are on the clock. And I think that somehow, some way, the best center in this draft falls to the Carolina Panthers at 33. They've had so much misfortune over the years. I think that they get a perennial Pro Bowler center at 33. Jackson Powers Johnson will be the center for the Carolina Panthers.
JPJ, welcome to Charlotte. You and Cam will be neighbors.
Yes, sir. I mean, this is, again, I've said it before, this is my favorite center I've ever scouted. He's right up there with Creed Humphrey is the best one I've watched. But yeah, I think that there's no like they win the draft in their heads at that moment if they can get JPJ at 33. Real quick, we're going to do Bam's top dogs, Ward's winners. We got a couple guys apiece just to get some third rounders and on that we think can make an impact and be really good football players. I'll name 2. I'll let you have one, and I'll name 2 more and let you have one.
Perfect. I didn't get it time to fill this out. I had a few more guys too. I was getting time to fill it out.
So my first guy, I'm going to go Javon Baker. He's a wide receiver out of UCF. Started his career at Alabama, committed to Kentucky, ended up going to UCF. And he's I throw this around a lot. He's a true X receiver. He's an alpha dog. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. He looks a lot like DK Metcalf when you watch him. Not as fluid and fast, but when you talk about contested balls, route running is there. He's going to be a guy, end of day 2, early day 3 that he's going to make a roster, and it's going to be like, how the heck did they get these guys? Look at this stare, by the way. Goodness gracious, that's an intense stare.
Well, I was just thinking.
You've got an intense
I'm sorry.
stare,
No, I was breaking down what you were saying. I didn't know he went to Alabama. He's got pretty good. My apologies.
Oh, you're good. And then my second guy is Mekhi Wingo out of LSU's an interior defensive lineman. He's a great pass rusher. You would like to see him be better, taking on double teams and not getting moved off his spots in the run game. But for a 6'1", 283-pound defensive tackle, he makes a lot of plays, a lot of splash plays at defensive tackle. Again, probably not as consistent as you want, which is why he's going to be a Bam Bam's top dog when you get into the later rounds. But I think if you get Mekhi Wingo on your football team, you'll get a really good football player.
Yeah. And also, Cam's going with this guy too. His guy's last name's Wingo. Cam has a dog named Mingo. So it's kind of rhymes a little bit.
You figured me out.
That's what caught the big man's attention. But first guy, Cam, I'm gonna go with Peyton Wilson. Everybody knows Peyton Wilson. He's anywhere from a late day 1 to a mid day 3 guy. So no telling where this guy's gonna go. Realistically, I think he ends up as a second rounder. Anyway, Peyton Wilson won the nation's top linebacker this year, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, ACC Player of the Year. This guy's a stud, man. So Peyton Wilson, he there is some injury concerns there. He's had some shoulder issues. He's had some knee issues. But at the end of the day, this kid's a dog and he can flat out play ball. So Peyton Wilson, you are one awards winners.
There you go. I'm going to go Michael Hall here. He plays interior defensive lineman for Ohio State. And we can see this guy going anywhere from late day 2 to like 6th round. Or I've seen him go anywhere in between that. He's going to be like a positional need kind of guy, and but I really like his game. I think he's an awesome football player, and he's more of like your kind of old school defensive tackle. He takes on double teams. He doesn't get moved off his spots.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get a lot of interior pass rush from this guy, which you don't always need. When you get a guy in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, you're not looking at a guy that's going to be an all-pro more than likely. You're just trying to get a guy that's going to make a roster.
I like it.
I think Michael Hall, situationally, first down, second down, is going to be a really good defense tackle.
I like it. And Cam, another interior defensive lineman, defensive tackle, I think that you will be hearing this guy's name very well soon. I mentioned him a couple months ago, Nazir Stackhouse, interior defensive lineman from UGA. This guy backed up Jalen Carter, or this guy played alongside Jalen Carter. This guy backed up dude from Mallard Creek that Cam pancaked a few times. But anyway, you look at the history of defensive tackles from Georgia. You've had 2 go in the top 15 the last 2 years. So obviously the defensive line coach and the DC at Georgia is doing something right. I think this is another prodigy that is getting slept on, but he's coming up the rankings. Nazir Stackhouse, you'll hear the name very soon.
I love it. I'm going to go Tyron Hopper. I'm saying Harper like I'm in Rutgers. Tyron Hopper, off-ball linebacker out of Missouri, in a historically weak off-ball linebacker class. I think this is a guy that you can get, late day 2, early day 3, and he can be, a good football player. I don't expect this guy to be an all-pro by any means, but again, we're looking for guys that are going to make rosters and make impacts, whether that's special teams or, situational pieces. I think Tyron Hopper is going to be a really good football player out of Mizzou, and kind of think Trey Bolton, just a kind of a guy that steps in and just makes plays immediately.
Yeah, Cam, I like it, man. I like it. Last but not least for me, this is a guy that you guys have heard me talk about, Zach Zinter, obviously center/guard for University of Michigan. If you look at this dude, everything about him just screams nasty, mean offensive lineman. This guy's a three-time former first-team All-American in college football. He did not give up 1 sack in 2023, and he gave up 1 in 2022. So this kid's a stud. He can flat out play. He is coming off an injury. He had a pretty gruesome leg injury, but he's fallen very. This was a first rounder. He was the number 1 offensive lineman in the draft, falling back because he got hurt. But watch out for Zach Zinter. I hope the Commanders end up with him.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Steelers take a flyer on him. Again, gruesome leg injury, and probably won't be able to play at all next year. But I think it's worth taking a chance on a guy who, like you said, 2 or 3-time All-American, 4-year starter at Michigan, and the leader of that offensive line. I really love Zach Zinter's game. And last guy, and we'll get out of here, more death taxes, Iowa tight ends being good football players. Eric All, not as dynamic as some of the guys we've seen come out of Iowa, but no pun intended, all-around good football player. He blocks. He's got sure hands. Again, not a great route runner. He's not going to do a George Kittle stiff arm 80-yard touchdown, but he does all the little things that you need. And again, you're not supposed to draft the sticker on the helmet. You're supposed to draft the player. But give me all the tight ends out of Iowa.
Yeah, same thing. Just like I mentioned with Georgia Cam, great pick. Obviously, you look at the tight ends out of Iowa. This is tight end you for a reason. You look at DBs from Alabama. You look at wide receivers from LSU. Like the brand's there. The winning football's there. The tradition's there. These guys just flat out know how to play ball. But that is our second annual – well, technically, no, it's our second annual mock draft.
There you go.
That me and you in college, was it the free agency thing we did? Yep. Yeah, I wish I could find that and drop that because our podcasts have gotten a lot better since that. But no, that is the Fat Katz second annual mock draft. Let me know who we missed. Let me know what you think. Let me know what picks we got wrong. If there's a draft or if there's a draft day trade that you guys think we missed, let us know. And we would love to hear some feedback.
Yeah, let us know your sleeper prospects, kind of like we did there towards the end.
Yep.
But love doing mock drafts, love doing stuff like this. This was episode 52 of the Fat Katz Podcast. Find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. Say hi to Willow.
Say hey to everybody.
Say hi to Willow before you
go.
Hey. And keep an eye out for us if you're watching the broadcast of the Canes game. If you see us, take a picture, snap a picture for us, and super excited to get out to Raleigh and see what these bunch of jerks have for us.
Hey, if anybody takes a picture of me and Cam on live TV tonight, send it to me. I'll buy you whatever you want from the Fat Katz website. Limited to one person. So first person that finds it sends it to me. If we are on TV and you send us a picture, I'll buy you whatever you want from our website.
There you go. That was episode 52. Ward, pleasure as always, my friend.
First, great job doing our first episode outside of a year. So now we're at a year and like 3 days. So we made it. And if you made it this far, Cam owes you a beer at the game tonight.
Peace.